Hi, in this video I'm going to explain you a couple of things, new things that we have released last Wednesday. So, first thing is that we have changed the winding arrangement naming. So now instead of having P, two chamber, we are going to have no interlift, interlift, and two chamber. So this means that those of you who had designs with PSP, PSPS, those are going to be changed by interlift. And those of you who had designs with PS are going to be changed by no interlift. Now, this is important to know that if you have a design with PSPS, you will get this warning when you enter in the design. This means that you can, let's say, keep the PSPS arrangement, but if you run the design, this is going to be changed by an interlift winding arrangement. Now, this is one of the things that we have changed, but the other thing that we have changed is the suggest wire algorithm. Now we have improved the suggestions of the wire, so this means that you will get better, let's say, losses and better manufacturability of the coil. So let's do an example how this works. The suggest wire is going to take the number of turns that we have in each of the windings, and it's going to take the margin tape and the insulation that you have defined. So let's do an example. I have here a design for a 20 kilowatt dual active bridge, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the suggest wire. I'm going to pause the video so we don't need to wait a couple of minutes. Now the suggestion has been finished. So here we have a non-interleaved winding. It gives us an optimized strand diameter of 1060 strands, 63 in the primary, 1056 in the secondary. Now, as I was commenting, we have included the possibility to take into account the number of insulation layers and also the margin tape. So let's do a couple of examples. First, I'm going to change to interlift, and I'm going to decide that here we have, for instance, 5 millimeters of margin tape in both primary and secondary. We are going to have also, well, let's do change by change. So I'm going to do first this change, and I'm going to suggest wire. We are going to see the results. So we get, of course, a slightly thinner wire, in this case with more parallels, so we can maximize the space or the use of the window area. And now, look what happens is we can also define if we want the wire to be triple insulated, single insulated, or double insulated. So if we click on triple insulated, we can do this in both primary and secondary, and we click on suggest wire. Now we will get the wire, let's say, adjusted, so we can account for those that space that insulation takes. Another suggestion takes this into account. So here you can see that now the wire is slightly different because we have triple insulated wires. Now, a couple of things more is that when we have power windings, that they have the same current level and the same number of turns, like in this case, instead of having a single secondary side, we're going to put two secondary sides. What will happen is that if we click on the suggest wire, the algorithm is going to look for the same wire in both of them, and it's going to give bifilar winding. So this ensures the same, let's say, resistance, same losses in each of the windings. Like this. In this case, we have a bifilar winding. Now, when we add auxiliary windings, what will happen? For instance, I'm going to add two auxiliary windings, one with the same turns ratio as the primary and one with half of the turns ratio. Okay, so what will happen? First, we update the waveform. Then we need to update the number of turns that we want. So we're going to put 9 turns in the in one of them and 5 turns in the other one. What will happen is that if I click on the suggest wire, the algorithm is going to take the two windings, and since they are use a very thin wire, it's going to take the two windings and it's going to group them as well, and it's going to put them in a single layer. So as you can see here, we have a single layer with the grouped windings. Now, when the windings are grouped, the customize option is blocked. So if at some point you want to modify the windings position, you can always ungroup all the windings. You have to be careful with the number of layers that the windings that were grouped have before, and then you can just run it again, and then you will have the windings ungroup, and the customize option will be available again. So you will be able to modify or change the layers as you want. Now, summarizing, the new series wire is going to take into account the field of the turns, is going to take into account the field of the margin tape, and is going to take into account the field of the number of insulation layers. In case of round wires, this field is given by first you need to select the plastic and then the number of insulation layers. I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any doubt, you can always contact our support team.